Hi there. I'm out here by my kidney bean island bed, and the farmer's out there planting up a storm too. So it's just me and the farmer out here early in the morning before work. So I'm going to be planting a bunch of impatiens out here. I've got red, rose, and violet, and I think I'm going to start with red for sure. I love having red. I just think it really pops. It's a great color and it's just classic. I might end up throwing some either rose, which is like a pink, a regular pink color, and then the violet's almost like a purple tint to it. So I might end up throwing some of those in there, but I'm not sure yet. I might just leave it all red. We'll see. So I have some little plug trays here full of plants, and we'll see how far we get. And I'll probably be pulling out some of the little grass that has come in here as well. There's just some weedy grass that found its way in this bed. And we also have to mulch out here too. But I wanted to get the annuals planted before we mulch. And then I'm going to be using my auger, my one lonely auger that I got at the Ace Hardware store. And I only ever use this for bulbs usually, or if I'm planting annuals in a spot where my soil is not really worked up and loose, then I'll use this auger. So I hardly ever use it. I just really love the physical act of digging with a shovel or digging with my hori-hori knife. I don't know, there's just something about it that's more satisfying, and I just prefer that. But I do bust this thing out. This is the only one I have, the only size I have. I do bust this thing out every once in a while. Well, let's get to work and get these things planted. Probably just gonna cover the whole front just so it's one big giant chunk of red. And then I'm thinking if I do add rose or purple, I can dot it up in there. And I don't know, we'll do something on the sides as well. I do have blue salvia, which would probably look good in here. But now that these birch trees are getting so big, it's pretty shady up here. Pretty chilly out here this morning. Yesterday, it was pretty cold. Well, not cold, I guess, but it was pretty chilly as well. And I prefer a little bit warmer when I come out here. That's why I have this sweatshirt on, because it's still really cold. It is super early in the morning though. So I'm just gonna go in and pull all these little grass bits that came in.
Take these chains from my heart and set me free. You've grown cold and no longer care for me. All my faith in you is gone, but the heartaches linger on. Take these chains from my heart and set me free. Take these tears from my eyes and let me see just a spark of the love there used to be. If you love somebody new, let me find a new love too. Take these chains from my heart and set me free.
Clumps. I did a clump right here, and then I kind of ended it, and then in the middle I did a clump, and then it ends kind of right there, just so there's like some separation. And then I did another clump right there, and I've got quite a bit of red left, so I was thinking I might go and put it, maybe do 2 more clumps, so one on that end and one on that end.
Give my heart just a word of sympathy. Be as fair to my heart as you can be. Then if you no longer care for the love of being there, take these chains from my heart and set me free.
That's looking pretty cool. So we have red all the way around, and then it might be neat to go in the back and put some rose, like maybe a little bit in there, and here. And then I was thinking about putting some like blue salvia behind, like in this area, as well as on the other side. So let's go down and get some more. I was thinking about putting the violet color right in here. I'm one of those people who actually really loves pinks and reds together. It kind of looks just off enough that it's cool, in my opinion. Stop right there and kind of do the same chunk on the other side. So this one is going to be that color right there. Which will be really pretty actually up against these colors of the hosta and heuchera. I've never had this color, violet, before. Usually I just do rose and red. And probably heard me talk about it before, but these are beacon impatiens. They're not just the regular impatiens. They're breeded a little bit differently, and they do not get downy mildew. I used to plant impatiens every year, and about halfway through the summer, they would all just quit flowering, look really yellow and sickly, and get something called downy mildew, and they were just done for the rest of the year. And I was about ready to give up on impatiens. I'm like, I can't waste my money on these anymore. I gotta drill that hole a little more. And I was in the greenhouse one day, and I was looking at the impatiens, and I'm like, oh, should I do it? I don't want to waste money again. And I seen on the little tag it said beacon impatient, and I had never seen that word beacon before. So I asked my friend Liz, the girl who owns the greenhouse, I'm like, what's this beacon mean? And she said, oh, those are a new variety that, or I think they just breed them differently so that they don't get downy mildew. I'm like, okay. So I was still unsure. And then I seen my brother-in-law later that weekend, who is also a grower, my sister's husband, Coco's husband. And I asked him about it, and he said, oh yeah, we sell those too at our nursery, and they're supposed to be really good. And so I went back to Liz's shop and I bought a bunch of them, and that year I was blown away. I'm like, I'm only ever buying Beacon Impatiens after this. I did not lose one of them from downy mildew, and that was the first year. So I swear by these things. They are an amazing plant. Last year I even tested some out in the full sun, and they were gorgeous. Gorgeous. They had tons of blooms all over them. I actually preferred them over the ones that I had in the full shade because they got more blooms on them. They were just a little bit shorter and stout, but they still had tons of blooms. And so yeah, I love these plants so much. They provide so much color, and they last all the way through the fall. We're just gonna shift over to this side.
These chains from my heart and set me free. You've grown cold and no longer care for me. All my faith in you is gone, but the
Okay, done with that. Now I want to put a few more of these violets in here behind the Berry Timeless and Peachberry Ice Heuchera up on that level. We'll just kind of do a few little rolling clumps in there as well. We're getting there. It is warming up out here too. The sun is popping out, so this is wonderful. It's not as freezing cold as it was when I first got out here. But I ended up putting a little patch of little patch of violet there, and then on the other side too, just to kind of tie in the red and purplish together. Now I have some blue salvia, and I thought about doing like a nice little cool drift right here on this side, and then on the other side in the back. So that's what I'm gonna do next. So we'll do just go along the edge. Let me look. See what it looks like. Then I might do another like chunkier row. We'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 'Cause I have a ton of this. I think I have like two more trays of it. Although my mom was like, I'll take some of your impatiens if you have extra. I'm like, I would love to share my impatiens with you. So I'm gonna be bringing some impatiens over to her house, and we'll help her plant a cute little flower bed up. But I could bring her some blue salvia too if she wants that. Mom, let me know if you want some blue salvia. I've got 2 trays of it. Alright, I think we'll start with that. That'll be fine. But maybe I should carry it that way. Yeah, I'm going to throw a couple more in. Just to kind of tie these 2 chunks together. And then there. Alright, might have to go get more, but let's go to the other side. wrapped around. It did go all the way around. I don't know if I want one right in front of that though. I don't know if I want one there either. Maybe I'll just end it here, actually. Because this side doesn't look as mirrored as the other side. And I feel like it might look weird in there if I put salvia. Because it'll be like right in front of that hikara, so we'll just stick with this. Wow, that was so much fun. I got so much done before work. I feel already accomplished. Maybe I'll have a better day at work now. But this is the most annuals I've ever planted in this garden bed before. Number one, because last year, was it last year? Yeah, last year, we actually extended this garden bed about 5 feet. So it did end kind of like where this hosta is. It kind of ended like right there. And these birch trees had just grown so much. They were tiny when I got them. And so since they have grown so much, we had to kind of extend this bed out. It was just, these were, you know, coming like 5-6 feet into the grass, and it was just really annoying to mow. So we extended this. So that is part of the reason I haven't planted this many annuals out here, just because it's a much bigger bed. And then the other reason is I usually just don't have this many annuals. My sister grew me like a ton more this year than she's ever grown me before. Usually I just like plop, you know, sparsely some big red begonias in here and just call it a day. But since I had so many impatiens, I'm like, you know what, I might as well just chuck this full of impatiens and see what happens. So it might be too much. It might be a little overkill. Like, whoa, what was she thinking? But we'll see. Hopefully it will look really pretty and we'll kind of test something like this out. Now, I do have this big hosta right here that I've mentioned many different times. You can see there's a tiny hosta there and then this big hosta here. That's a halcyon and that is a elegans. When I planted these, they were just little tiny volunteer hosta, and you can't really tell when they're that young what kind of variety they are. Now that they put on size, they are in fact 2 different varieties. So I'm gonna have to come and dig actually both of these out and find 2 blue angels to match those ones over there. But it's fine for now. It doesn't bother me so much. There's so much other things going on in this garden bed that I can deal with it for now. It's just kind of like intruding on that cute little Hakana grass, and that's the only thing that bothers me a little bit. But anyway, I think it's gonna hopefully turn out pretty good. In the front, we put 3 chunks of red, so 1, 2, 3, and then there's a chunk of red, and then there's a chunk of red over there, and then in between those 2 chunks of red, I put just a tiny chunk of violet, and then I dotted some violet in through here, and then around here I put just a strip of blue salvia. That might be too much. I might come and take a couple of those out. We'll see how they do. And then in the back, we went with a different color, the violet. So we kind of dotted that violet in the front and on the sides, and then brought it back here to the back. I think my next step is probably going to be getting some mulch on this, which is going to take a while to go around all the little spots, but I think it will hopefully turn out pretty good. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you're just having a wonderful day, whatever day you're watching this, and you find time to get out in your garden and do something amazing. All right, we'll see you later. Bye. Sweet little snoozy boy. Oh, did he hear me? Hi, buddy. You're so snoozy. Yeah. You're so cute. Did you see that bird fly by? You just seen that bird up there. He was pretty, huh? Not as pretty as you. You're my boy.